Alright, welcome to Bigas web channel. My name is Bigas and I'm here back again with another video. So in this video we will be attaching the users relation with a URL router relation. So to give you the context, we have this kind of nice system build. So we have sign up, we have login, and you can just log in since we are already user. If not, you can sign up, and then once login, we have this option where we are allowed to create a new short URL. So you can pass any long URL you want, and then you can just give some name and you generate this kind of short URL, and then you can just enter this and that will redirect you to the original URL. Under the user profile, user can see all the URL created. Okay, so that means each of those URL should have relationship or relation with user. Okay, and that's what we will be dealing today. So we will still try to do things in the server side, in the backend side, but you get the concept. And if you are new and if you don't know about this project, then we have been dealing with this project for a while, and by the time you will be watching this video, we'll already have more videos on this playlist. And also there is a GitHub repo, and I will be posting everything and all the information in the description, so you can get it everything from there. If you are enjoying this video, remember to give this a thumbs up, and that way YouTube algorithm can recommend this video to other users, other viewers like you. And if you enjoyed the whole series of this full stack development, then remember to subscribe my channel and also hit the bell notification icon. That way you will be the first person to get a notification whenever I upload new videos. Also, you can follow me on LinkedIn. You can also follow Instagram channel because I will be posting regularly Insta reels there. With that being said, let's start the video. Alright, let's go inside VS Code Studio, and in our previous video we have already done this verify SS token middleware, and you can watch that video if you haven't already. So all it does is it try to authenticate whether this JWT token that we get from frontend, which actually initially was originated from here, whenever user login or sign up, we are testing that, and if everything is good, if the token was originated from our server, then we will be decoding the token. From there we will get email, and with that email we'll find the user and we attach that user to request. So whenever this middleware is used, in that case we already have that user information here. So that's what this middleware already does for us. So now we just need to attach that relations with user. Let's go to our user model here, and one way to do this kind of thing is here we can have something called URLs, and these URLs can be the relation of this so URL model, and that way every time we are creating this kind of new URL, we are not only creating the URL using this URL model, but we are also posting. So if we go to services here, what we can do is when we have a create URL, after the URL is being created here, we have this URL. So after we save this, we can also attach this to user. So that is one way, and the idea of doing that is whenever we get our user, we get inside user there will be relation which will be URLs, and then there will be all the URL. And that's okay and that's good. However, there is one problem, I don't like to deal with it, and maybe I don't know properly how to do this Mongoose or NoSQL, and that is every time we try to do update, then we have to find this and do this update separately. If you know the better way, you can just write it in the comment, and I may use that in future video. However, today I'm just gonna go in a simple way, and simple way is inside this URL model here somewhere. Now that we have our user relation here in our URL, the next is to create a route, and then that route is used to fetch all the URL for our user. Okay, also I went to this auth token, and here in the generate SS token I have attached ID also. Earlier we only had email and this. Now we will also have user ID, I don't know if I will use that or not, but just in case. And now let's go to router, and one way is inside URL router we can get everything by passing certain user ID there, or another is we can also get user by ID, and then there we can have a relation where there will be URL, and then we will have all the URL also attached there. I like to go in this way because for me, when I say get user by ID, I just want to get user and nothing else. And then we can also define in the query params what are the relation we want to fetch in. However, this one seems better, and it's just a preference, it's just your design pattern. You can do however you think is better for you. Okay, so let's just go here. Actually, let's just go and copy this one, and then here instead of URL code, what I will do is I will have user and I will have user ID. Okay, and that way, because if I only give user ID, it will get confused whether it's a URL ID, because these two will look pretty similar, and that's not what we want. So I just want to give user and then user ID, so that way we have some separation between those. And then the next thing is I want to call verify SS token, and that way we know that the user is authenticated. Okay, that's good. So the next thing is let's get user ID from request.params.user ID. So we are doing exactly the same thing we did here, and then we want to make sure that this user ID is the same one as this authenticated user ID, and this is also now the pattern and the design. If you are going to allow any user or any other user to access some other users list, in that case you don't need to check this. However, in this case we want to make sure that only the authenticated user who is that user can access the list of the same user, or only you can access your own list. Okay, so I want to check that if user ID not equals to request, and we will get user from here dot ID, not here, sorry, ID. Okay, if that's the case, then we want to do something. I will just say status 401 JSON SS denied. Okay, that's good. And then I'll also do return, so we don't call anything else after that. And then if this is all good, then we have to write something. Okay, so let's go to URL services, and again this is also pattern. Do you want to do that inside user services, or you want to do inside URL services? Since we are accessing URL, so we will go with URL, but also we are accessing URL for users, so you can also go with user. Okay, but that's all about your preference. So let's do here get URLs for user, and that will be a async function, and we are expecting user ID, and that is a string. And then here we will have try and catch, and if we have some issue, then we can just say throw new error, and the new error can be internal server error. By the way, we are using something like this now. This is a new pattern, but in previous videos or previous part we have only passed error and error, and actually these are pretty confusing way of dealing it. The better would be if you have error handler somewhere where you have defined all different kinds of error, and then that way you can just import those and then send it, so that your user or front end will always get kind of same error, because That way it's also easier to show things and use translations and so on. I'm just telling you all this so that if you want to actually make your organized folders and organize a pattern of errors and everything, then you can do that. Additionally, you can also have some logger and so on. Okay, but here we will move forward. So now we have to get something that has all those. Okay, so let's go here, and by the way, we could actually make this also index true, and then here what we can do is const urls is url.find, and then what I can do is give here user ID is user ID. All right, so this way we have that, and then we can actually return URLs. And here what I can do is it actually returns all the URLs. So array type of URL, I'm not so sure. Let's just, okay, it doesn't do. Let's see what this will be. So what we can do is actually I can just copy this. Let's go here. I will not make this optional, name will be optional. All right, so here instead of this I will just, let's actually also go here. Okay, we have everything imported. URL type, okay, that's good. So let's just go here, URL type, and that should be array of URL type. Okay, so we have some problem here. So in our user case we had those, and in URL we have created, updated, name, it's all good. I think the reason is because of this. Okay, that should be good, and we are still getting some problem here. Okay, anyway, let's just have a breakpoint here. Let's just do console log and just have URLs and do URLs. Okay, and it still has some problem. For now, let's just take away the types from there and let's just deal with it. We'll fix the type later because this is a TypeScript project, so we want to fix it. And we have URL router. So let's go to Postman. First thing, we want to log in. So let's log in. Okay, so we have this token here, and then let's just go here in the authorization headers here. Okay, that's all we need, except it should be A and it should have bearer and this one, that's good. And then okay, so we want this kind of request here. And also it's a good practice that if you actually make a collection here in Postman and then you have base URL and everything, so you don't have to do all these kind of things. But I'm lazy person here, so user, and then we need user ID. Okay, so to get user ID, let's go here and then let's go here decode JWT, and then I'll just go here. Okay, so we have ID, that's good. Additionally, we can also use email, so not user, so we have not here. Here we have this. So this is all we are doing here, and then we have to go to our router again. So let's go to URL router. So here, when we have that, we want to get data, and then the data will be get URLs for user, and here we are passing user ID. Okay, and then here we can say the response.status is successful, and then we can give JSON data. And I think there is something I need to do because it will have maybe unnecessary data, I don't know. We will just only know it once we check it. So now let's go here and then, okay, so actually URLs are blank, empty. All right, so finally I figured it out, and there was something I was missing it from the very beginning. So the idea is, whenever you are creating your Mongoose schema, it's a good practice to actually use everything in lowercase, and even better if you do it in like this kind of plural, and then the same thing also here. So I had to modify this because I actually had it in capital letter and something, and then when I changed that, and I deleted everything from my collection, and now when I actually try to call something, then we actually have this. So for that I had to also create a new user and everything. So for example, if we go to playlist here, and let's copy this one now, and I will say this is playlist. Okay, so we have this, and now we should have 2 items, and here you go, we actually have 2 items. So we just needed these, but it was pretty long debugging session, almost took my 20 minutes, but that's how you do it, and that's how actually in real life things happens. Always better option would be to use this kind of schema properly, and then someone from this Stack Overflow actually saved my day. So here they say that the Mongoose model, we have to use this like pluralized, and then you know there were some other user was also doing some similar thing. I just followed it, I restarted everything, and then voila, everything is working. Okay, that's good. So let's go back to our router here, and then in the URL router, actually this is already good. And then for the cats, we actually haven't done any sort of catching, and I don't know if we want to do it. Probably we want to do it, otherwise why to have that? So here also let's just do status 500 JSON internal server error, and then I will already do this here. And again, like I said earlier, it's better practice actually already to do those kind of things also here, or not here, sorry, here. So we are throwing it from here. I don't know which one will be called, but this is how it is. And also if you go here and if you try to pass some weird thing here, and then if you try to do that, then that will not work, and this will work. And then also if you have some wrong user ID, let's say 3, and even though we actually have SS token, even though we are authorized, we will get this SS denied because these 2 users, they don't match. Okay, so let's do undo here, and we have this. Now we can use this in our front end, and then we can actually show this kind of list, and then we will have edit and everything. And those are something we are doing it slowly and gradually because already one video is getting way longer, so I don't want to mix those things. But this was it for today's video. We finally have our all URLs for certain user, and depending on whoever will be the user, they will have their own this kind of list, and the next one will be displaying this kind of list in the front end. And if you want to follow everything, then you have to subscribe my channel. If you have enjoyed today's video, smash the like button, because that way YouTube algorithm will recommend my videos to other users like you. Thank you so much for being until here. I hope to see you in next video. Until then, keep coding. Bye bye.